Welcome to the Women's Hoop Show, where the only thing hotter than that July sun is the WNBA All-Star drama, and we've got it all for you here. We're breaking down the full list of selections, the biggest snubs, and everything in between. Plus, we thought it'd be fun to step into the shoes of this year's captain. So I'm taking on the role of Caitlin Clark, and my co-host, the legendary Sheryl Swoopes, is channeling Napheesa Collier. Together, we're going to do a mock draft of our 2025 WNBA All-Star teams because they make their selections soon. If you've ever wondered who Cece or Phee should take with their first pick, well, we got you covered. We've got thoughts, and we're not holding back. Then we'll recap some of the wildest games from the week. The Sparks stunned the Fever without Caitlin Clark, and A'ja Wilson called the Aces' loss, quote, embarrassing. And we have some more thoughts on that loss as well. We've also got a news roundup with the latest headlines. We're also going to send some flowers sponsored by Cash App, where we hand out props, praise, and maybe a few surprise shout outs. So whether you're here for the All-Star buzz, the league drama, or just because you missed Sheryl and she's back, stay locked in. This episode's got it all. Let's get into it. Sheryl Swoopes. Hello.
What up, Jordan?
Oh my
How
gosh.
are you?
You have been everywhere. Actually, let me rephrase. It's Sheryl Swoopes, the newest member of Sigma Gamma Rho.
Oh my God. I am so happy. Yeah.
Okay, well, I wanted to shout that out because I was so excited for you, and I love
Thank you.
that you are on this new journey in your sorority. But we got to talk All-Star because that was the news that has encompassed us all over these past few days, especially since we got the starters and then the reserves were released. We're recording this on Monday, so they were released yesterday on Sunday, and a lot of thoughts. A lot of people had a lot of thoughts as the reserves were announced, and it always goes to the conversation of snubs.
Yeah.
Pretty much first. It's not even necessarily that it's congratulations to the people that made it. It's
100%.
why didn't my favorite player make it? Or the
Yeah.
person I voted for, why didn't they make it? So that's kind of where this conversation goes. So I want to start with just some observations, and I want to know what things kind of jump out to you. One is 3 rookies making the All-Star Rockers. The first time that that's happened since 1999, I believe. It's been a while. So 2 coming from the same team with Kiki Iriafen, Sonia Citron, and then Paige Bueckers is a starter for the Dallas Wings. But that came with some controversy, Sheryl. People were like, why isn't Brittany Sykes on this All-Star team rather than the rookies? You're shaking your head. What do you think?
Well, I'm not saying rather than the rookies, because I think both Sonia and Kiki have had incredible seasons so far. Like I'm not mad that the 2 of them made the All-Star team. However, what? No Brittany Sykes. So my question is, did it become we can't have 3 from the same team, so we're just going to go with the rookies? Brittany Sykes, she's averaging 18 points a game, 11th in scoring overall. Missed the majority of the season last year and has come back this season and is balling. I have a couple of snubs, but Brittany Sykes was the biggest one to me. And here's where I have questions when it comes to voting, right? And I know these are reserves, but with the fans getting 50%, media 25%, players 25%. To me, when it's the fan voting, the majority of that, and I feel like it's been this way even when I played, right? That to me is like a popularity contest, my favorite player, and that's your right as a fan, right? So in a situation with Brittany Sykes, like I'm sure in her mind she's like, what more could I possibly do? Because she's playing her ass off,
Mm-hmm.
and to not be recognized for that, like being an all-star is an honor, and not very many people get to say I was an all-star. And who
Right.
knows, maybe this was the only season that she would have to be an all-star. I just, you know what happens though is when you say that, then people come back and say, well, who do you take off the list?
You got to do that. That is always the
So
next
here's what I'll
thing.
say. So then here's what I'll say. And when I say this, it's honestly no disrespect to anybody, because the fans vote, media vote, players vote, their voices are heard. To me, when I look at the reserves, I think every single player on here deserves to be an all-star, a reserve. There are two players when I look at the reserves. I'm like, I think Brittany Sykes right now
Mm.
is having a better season. The numbers are there. Her impact on her team is undeniable. Yes, Sonya's having a great season. Kiki's having a great season as rookies. But like, and I love Courtney Williams, love her to pieces. I love Jackie Young, love her to pieces. I
Mm.
I have seen we have seen Jackie Young have an all-star season. My opinion right now, I don't think Jackie Young is having an all-star season. I think Courtney Williams is doing what Courtney Williams does. She's always going to do that. But if you start looking at, okay, if we put Brittany on, then who do we take off?
Mm.
I think Brittany Sykes right now is having a better season than Jackie Young.
I think that is a fair assessment. I think that is a fair assessment. And I think it's the whole conversation. And first I wanted to correct myself. It's 3 rookies for the first time since 2011. It's rookie teammate all-stars since the first time since 1999. So I wanted to correct that.
Mm.
But this idea that um because the Mystics are a below 500 team, like because they are kind of more towards the bottom
Yes.
of the standard. You said you don't want 3 people from the same team. There's 3 people from the Seattle Storm. Like there could have been 3 people from Washington, but you got to take who's scoring the most points from the below 500 team. I feel like that's why Kelsey
Yes.
Plum is on this list. Like the Sparks
Yes.
aren't doing great, but she has been playing really well individually. And we always talk about too when it comes to all-star voting that it's this sense that it's a popularity contest and we're putting a lot of weight in fan votes, but the weight of an all-star starter, the all-star title, the all-star being a part of your legacy
Mm-hmm.
is really heavy. And that isn't, sometimes that shouldn't always be left up to the fans. And it's not saying that they shouldn't have any say, but it doesn't seem like it matches this idea that it's fun, it's all-star, the fans vote for your favorite people, but also you get a bonus and your
Yeah.
whole legacy is tied into this. Like sometimes it can feel uneven there.
Jordan, there's a lot that goes into being an all-star than just saying I was an all-star, right? Because even when you talk about all-stars and you start looking at resumes, people, if you're an 8-time, what A'ja Wilson is what, a 7-time all-star?
That sounds
Like
right.
people,
I could check that.
so like people don't say, oh, A'ja Wilson's an all-star again. They say 7-time all-star A'ja Wilson, 3-time MVP A'ja, right? Like there's
Right.
so much more that goes into that. And to me, example, the fans having 50% they're going to vote for their favorite player. They're going to vote for the most popular player. Okay, but here's where I have a problem with that. And I've seen it happen even when I played. I remember Diana Taurasi, I think, missed like pretty much the first half of the season prior to the All-Star game. But fans voted her in as an All-Star. And
Mm-hmm.
I just think it's so unfair to the players, i.e., like a Brittany Sykes, who is playing her butt off, has put the work in, her numbers show it, and she deserves an opportunity to be an all-star. When some players who are voted in either aren't playing or have missed a lot of games, but they still get voted in.
Mm-hmm. And
So
she was
that,
campaigning too. She was like
yeah.
she was posting a lot. Like she was like, today's a double vote day. Like she really wanted to be an all-star. And I think
Well, I was going to say,
that
and you
makes it
know
more
why she
heartbreaking.
was doing it? Because not only did she want to be, she knows that she deserves to be.
Yeah.
Like she's is having that type of a season.
Yeah. I feel
I
that. I feel that.
I I,
Who are your
I
who are your
think
other
De'Erica
snubs?
Hamby, De'Erica
Yeah.
Hamby, I think should have been an all-star.
Mm-hmm.
And the other, listen, there's probably I actually wrote down 5 names: Brittany Sykes, De'Erica Hamby. I think Tosh Cloud. I think Tosh should be an all-star.
That was tough.
I think Azure Stevens is playing crazy basketball right now. Right now, could be most improved player in my opinion. I think
Mm-hmm.
she deserved to be. But one that, and I'm sure you saw this on social media from LaChina's fiance, Bree Jones.
Yeah.
Like that one just
That was
doesn't
a
make
big
sense
snub.
to me.
That was a big one. That was a big one. And even Jonquel Jones, she had some things to say because she felt like she played like an all-star when she was playing and felt like because she's been out these past couple games, like, you know, like you were saying,
Hmm. Hmm.
sometimes that works against you. If you haven't been playing or you're not on top of people's minds because you've been injured recently, she felt like the times that she was playing, those were all-star numbers.
I agree
And
with that.
she felt like she got snubbed. So
I agree with that. So here's a
this
question I
is
have for you.
hard.
Because when you start throwing in injuries, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I do believe that you have to play a certain amount of games. I don't know. I don't know this. If you have to
I
play a
don't know
certain
either.
amount of games to be considered an all-star. But to Jonquel's point, right? I thought Jonquel has been playing well. And until recently when she got hurt again, and so she's been out. So her name is nowhere on here. So some people may look and say, well, Caitlin hasn't played, I don't know how many games she's missed. But not only is she an all-star, she's a starter. So like, how is that different from like a Jonquel Jones?
Yeah, I understand that. I think it's well, and it's just like what you said with Diana Taurasi. The movement is undeniable for
100%.
Caitlin for not only from the fans but also from the players ranking her, the coaches ranking her, all of that put together made her a starter. But then you
100%.
come into play where I'm at, all we've heard from the Fever camp is that they're thinking long term, long term, long term. They don't want her to be on a minutes restriction when she comes back. So is she going to play in the All-Star game? Now you relieve. Now there's who are those players that were on the bubble? Is
Yes.
Brittany Sykes one of those players that's on a bubble that if Caitlin doesn't play, that allows one other spot? That means someone else moves to a starter. Alyssa Thomas is saying, I've been disrespected my whole career, so me not being a starter, it doesn't surprise me.
I'm
So
used to
now
it.
there's this conversation of, okay, if she doesn't play, does somebody move up? Who moves in? And then that becomes that whole conversation.
Yeah, because the
So
other
I
part of
think that she's
that,
going to play though.
sorry, the other part of that, Jordan, is if someone isn't able to play, then the commissioner is the one who chooses
Picks it.
their
Yes, we went through
replacement.
this. Yeah, we went through this last season. I remember now.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I didn't like it then and I still don't like it. Nothing's changed.
Yes,
Like
I remember this.
I
Oh gosh.
yeah,
It's
I don't know.
tough. It's tough.
It
And I
is.
think I do want to put out there that this is for all the new fans that maybe came last year and the All-Star game was against the Olympic team. And we had the discussion that we shouldn't have to vote for Olympic players because they're automatically
Yes.
All-Stars. And
Yes.
then that made this whole conversation of like, okay, well, these players got in because there's a whole team already filled of Olympians. Now we're getting to we got to vote those Olympians in. We have to
Mhm.
use our vote for those people
Mhm.
now, and the spots are more limited. So we're getting this type of draft conversation and where some people are on the bubble, but also I want to turn our attention to the first time All-Stars, the All-Stars that maybe this is super exciting for them. And I think one of those is an Alicia Gray, a Gabby Williams getting her first time All-Star. Like those are
Mhm. Mhm.
really, really good names and super exciting for them. NECA getting her 10th All-Star selection and being a starter. So I think this is a perfect segue to get into our draft because we're talking about them. Now who do we want on our teams? Okay?
Mm.
I printed
Yeah.
out the roster so I
Mhm.
can go one by one as we select. But I am going to be Caitlin Clark. I'm going to channel CC and pick from, you got to pick the starters first. Then we're going to do
Yeah.
a snake draft. And then we are going to pick from the reserves. But
Mhm.
this is going to be fun. I'm also
Mhm.
really nervous. This is why I
Why are you
never want to be a
nervous?
G. I never want to be a GM. I don't.
Oh
They
my god.
pick on July 8th. We're recording this on the 7th. So I'm actually really curious how right we're going to be, how
Mm.
spot on we're going to be. But
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know either. This could go many different ways. It could go many different
Because
ways.
here's what
But
I'm thinking. I'm
yeah,
thinking it depends. Like if they're drafting just to have a good time, like have
Mm-hmm.
fun and have a good time, then the draft is going to look one way. And if they're drafting to be like, no, we are coming to win this thing and beat your heads in and all that, that's going to be a different kind of draft.
I
So I
know.
got to figure out which GM Phee is drafting.
I think Caitlin wants to win. I think she
Well, it's
wholeheartedly
without question,
wants to
and it's in
win.
Indiana.
It's in Indiana. I know. I know. So that all goes in part. All goes into it. Okay. Should we go? Should we start?
We shall go. You're on the
Okay.
clock. You got 10 seconds.
I'm on the clock. Yeah, 10 seconds. Okay. I
I really don't know how much
am
time.
I think I like this though. It'll keep it moving. It'll keep it moving.
Okay. Okay.
I am gonna go Aaliyah Boston with my first pick because I
Mhm.
know that it's in Indiana and Caitlin is going to pick Aaliyah Boston first. So
Mm.
I'm going Aaliyah Boston first
Mhm.
because the
Okay.
pick and roll is undeniable.
Okay.
Who you got,
Okay.
Phee?
Well, if you're going with one Gamecock, and I get two picks. My first pick, and I'd love to see Phee and A'ja play together. So I am going with A'ja Wilson as
Okay, makes
my
sense.
first pick.
Makes sense. Makes sense.
And my second pick, I am going with the rookie, Paige
Oh god
Bueckers.
damn it. I was
Yeah.
like, people will the world will explode if Caitlyn and Paige are on the same team together. Man, okay, I'll let you have that one. I'm gonna go with Brianna Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going with Stu York. I
You
could
get two
see that.
picks.
Oh shoot. Okay, I get two picks. I'm
Mm-hmm.
going Stewie and Alicia Gray.
Hmm.
So you
Okay.
got okay. So
I
so
got
far
two.
you got A'ja,
And
Paige with Phee. Okay.
I am going to go with Satu
Mm.
and Sabrina.
Mm. All right, NECA, come on down. Yeah. Okay, I like that. I like that so far. Okay, okay. I get another one. I go into the
Yeah.
reserves now.
Yeah. We're over to the reserves now.
Ooh.
You better pick
Oh.
your draft picks up because right now we are beating the brakes off of y'all.
I told you I'm nervous. I'm sweaty.
No, Jordan,
I'm
you
sweating.
are like really
Here we go.
nervous over there. Yeah, you got one more. Okay.
No, here we go.
Oh, these reserves are gonna be interesting.
This is really interesting because you can go multiple ways. You can go defense, you can go scoring. I don't actually we didn't talk about injuries. Ryan Howard may not be able to play too. That's a little asterisk right there. I'm just thinking about
Well,
that.
we don't know. So right
We don't
now we're
know.
working with what we got, and
What we got, what we know.
you're down to about 3
3 seconds.
seconds, ma'am.
Okay, I'm going Kelsey Mitchell. Let's go Kelsey Mitchell. Let's just do
Of course.
all the
Yeah.
fever. Let's go.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Okay. Yep. You're right on that one. All
Okay.
right. So I get two. I am going to take AT
Jesus.
and I'm gonna go with Fee's teammate Courtney.
All right. Yeah, she would pick Courtney. She would pick Court. Courtney's probably already telling her, "You better pick me."
Of course.
Um.
I needed another point guard. Okay.
Yeah, we need another. I got two.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going Skylar because she gonna want
Mm-hmm.
to win. She's all in.
Skylar
I'm going
and
Angel
yeah.
Reese. Let's
Mm-hmm. I
go.
like that one. I like that one.
Let's go. We're getting boards. Angel and Kaylin on the same team. The world may heal. We'll see.
And I was gonna say Skylar and Caitlin on the same team is interesting.
Yes, it's all interesting. It's all interesting.
Okay, I'm glad you picked Angel because
Me too.
I
I hope
think
this
that
really
would be
happens.
I think fans would really love to see that them playing together.
I would love to see it. I
Okay,
think it
so
would
I got
just
two.
yeah,
I got
let's
two.
look at it.
All right, I am
Which we
going
saw it
to
last
go
year.
with Gabby Williams
Okay.
and let me see my shooter.
No, I'm not
And
really thinking.
I would like to have Sonia Citron on my team.
Okay. I'll give you Sonia.
Well, you have no other choice. I just drafted her.
I love you are just so good at this because you're like, okay, I have a guard, I have a big. I am not doing that at all. I'm just like, ooh, who would be fun? Let's just go that way.
And that goes to my point, right? I said if they're drafting to have fun, the draft is going to look one kind of way. If they're drafting to win, yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
Caitlin, probably don't use this as something to go off of. Just keep it in the back of your mind. But I'm thinking positive that Ryan Howard is going to be healthy, bucket getter. Ryan Howard is somebody who can be an all-star game
Howard.
MVP. Like 100%. She can go off. So I love that. And I'm also going to go I'm going to go J.O. I'm going to go Jackie Young. Too.
Oh, thank you. So I am going to.
I don't have a lot of bigs on this list. That's why Bree Jones needs to be on here.
I am going to take the other rookie, Kiki.
All right, you got the teammates.
Give me Kiki and KP, Kelsey Plum.
All right, fair. All right. Come on, Kayla Thornton. Bring that Valkyrie's good luck.
And I love Kayla Thornton.
She's playing so well. I
Yeah,
love
she is.
that she is the first All-Star in Valkyrie's
Yes.
history.
Yes,
Kayla
I love
Thornton.
it. All right, so my
Woo!
team, my captain, we got Captain Phee and Captain Cece.
Yes. Review
My
your team.
team.
It's looking pretty good.
So I am starting Paige Bueckers at the 1, Sabrina at the 2, Satu at the 3, AT at the 4. A'ja gonna play my 5 in the All-Star game.
No, you have Phee is starting. So Phee and A'ja are starting.
Yeah. Not AT. Yes.
God
damn.
That's
I'm
a
the
really
captain.
good team.
I'm the captain, and I forgot. Yeah, I like that squad.
Damn it. No, here we go. I got CC at the 1. Then I have Alicia Gray at the 2. Goggles herself. She is a bucket getter. Then my 3 is Brianna Stewart. We are big. Okay? You are not scoring on us easy. Then
you're big. Wait a minute. Where are you big at?
Stewie. Stewie is 6'4". She's my 3.
I know.
And then we got
that doesn't make you big because you have one player starting at the 3 that's 6.
Can you
whatever.
let me? I'll let you
yes,
finish.
ma'am. You're
I'll
right.
Let you get yours.
You're right.
You're right.
No, I'm sorry. I am so sorry.
I'm pitching my case. So then we have Stewie.
You're right. I'm sorry.
At the 3, at the wing. Then we have NECA at the 4. Vet. She knows how to do this. She's great. Love NECA. Then we have Aaliyah Boston at the 5. All of these. This is gonna be great. This is gonna be great.
I like it.
All right. Yeah. Our producer Greg said Sheryl is blowing us out. You know what?
Facts.
It's Indiana. And I don't think you can.
Oh, what you saying? Y'all gonna get some homegrown calls?
We're gonna get some home calls. We're gonna get some homer calls. We got the fans on our side.
Well,
I'm not great at this, but that's okay.
Then let's just look at subs when we sub. Here's the thing. Here's the thing about AT. I can sub AT at the 1, 2, 3, 4, or 5.
You can't. That's not fair. That should be illegal. That's
Gabby
like a
Williams.
weapon.
Gabby Williams can play the 1, 2, 3, or 4.
Okay. Well,
Ooh.
I can sub in a Skylar Diggins Smith who is like a dog that you could just say, go sick him. And she'll just start tearing stuff up. So I love that for Sky.
I'm just asking a question. I'm going to let you finish. Your dog and Skylar going against my dog and Courtney Williams. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I like that. We saw that in real time, even though they were unrivaled teammates. Ryan Howard, Kelsey Mitchell, one of the craftiest guards in the game. Angel Reese getting every rebound. Me bounds, she bounds, all of them. Hers.
We bound, they bound, us bound.
J.O. is going to have her best game of the season, an All-Star game.
Wow.
And Kayla Thornton. I can't. Oh. And Kayla Thornton is going to hustle her tail off. I'm done.
I like your positivity.
I'm sweating.
I like your team. I just like my team
better.
Let me see my shooters. I got Kelsey Plum who gonna be knocking them down. Paige Bueckers who gonna be knocking them down. Sabrina who gonna be knocking them down. Sonia who gonna be knocking them down. And and Satu. Girl, let's move on to something else.
You know, I thought that'd be more fun. That was actually very
Was it stressful?
The thing is, this is how it's gonna go. Like one team is it's almost usually lopsided like this.
Oh no, ma'am.
But
no, ma'am.
Okay. Well, we're gonna take a break because I need to think about my choices, the decisions that I made. And we're gonna come back. We'll be back. Welcome back to the Women's Hoop Show. I've had some time to think about my picks, and I'm still sticking beside them. I think that there is going to be hustle and heart and we're in Indiana, and we're getting coached by Sheryl Reeve. So I like it.
Which
I
is
like it.
absolutely why you should not like it.
No. Cheryl Reeve is a mastermind. Have
I
her
I
and
like
Caitlin
it if you
Clark
like it.
had some has she had some words about Caitlin in the past? Maybe. Maybe this is just the game where we're all gonna come together and everyone's just gonna be like, this is great for
I do.
everyone.
If you like it, I love it, Jordan. I 100%
That is when
love it.
that's what Black people say when they don't like what you're doing.
If you like it,
And
I
they
love
say,
it. You're
if
100%
you
right.
like it, I love it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Oh, you can't use that on me, Cheryl. I know what you're trying to say. Okay, anyway, the All-Star game is next week, and we are going to keep talking about the All-Star game. We're also, after the real draft happens, we'll be able to break down what those actual teams look like and who's our picks. But some basketball is still being played as All-Star is swirling. One of those games last week that I was running here to get your thoughts on was the Fever and Aces game. So the Fever blew out the Las Vegas Aces 81-54. And I was really looking forward to this game because they were both 500. And I was like, if we would have had this game on the calendar, preseason when we looked at just the rosters as they were then, I would have been like, oh, this would be, maybe a fight for second place. But they're both 500 teams. And it was kind of glaring how different 500 teams can be. And yes, the Aces, A'ja Wilson called the loss embarrassing. Quote, we got embarrassed. We find our joy in the game, particularly on the defensive end. That's how we get rocking and rolling. They weren't stopping a lot. And this was also a game that a lot of people had their eyes on because they just made a trade for Nalissa Smith. And I think that was a good trade. I don't think Nalissa Smith is needed to come in and solve all their problems. But what are you seeing from the Aces right now, or what are you not seeing from them?
It's a better question.
Mm-hmm.
What am I not seeing?
Mm-hmm.
When you are a team that's trying to win a championship, let alone win your first championship, and then to come back and try to repeat and win your second. And then if you get your second, then you want to go for your third. And once you get the third, you absolutely want the fourth. Sounds like the Houston Comets. I just had to put that out there. No, seriously, when the Aces were trying to win that first championship and repeat, they had this cockiness / arrogance about them from the coaching staff to every single player, even players who knew they probably weren't going to play. But that's what they carried. Every arena they went to, you saw it walking in, doing the tunnel fits, no tunnel fits, whatever. But you felt it, like you felt it through the TV screen. Like, oh, the Aces are here. It's going to be a long night. That's gone. It's gone. Like, to me, what I see in the Aces, it's like they're still trying to figure out their identity and how to play basketball. And for a veteran team, because they are a veteran team, you should never look like this. I don't know, and I don't know if you and I talked about this before. I cannot put my finger on it, but there to me, it looks like there is something way deeper going on with this team than the X's and O's.
It almost has to be. Like, I'm at this point, I'm like, that's the only explanation for these type of games. Because this game in particular, you look at A'ja Wilson's numbers, 29 points, and the rest of the team, nobody got over 6 points.
Jordan, I'm sorry, because I don't want to cut you off. As a professional athlete, how does not no other, and I don't care if that's correct grammar or not, how does not no other player score more than 6 points?
Here's the thing, Sheryl. These aren't normal players. These are Olympians.
100%.
These are not, I think that's what the whole commentary and what on social media, you know, when this game happened, we see the final score, we see A'ja Wilson's box score, everyone's like, well, A'ja needs some help. And we're like, whoa, there are 3 other Olympians in that starting lineup. And that's where I say something has to be bigger going on, because this isn't the typical production from Jewell Loyd that we know, like scoring champ Jewell Loyd.
I'm so glad you went there.
Jackie Young, you mentioned it. This is not her best season. She's not having an all-star season to me because, I mean, next to A'ja, you're just trying to hold on and stay afloat to get them in these games. Chelsea Gray, we know she shows up in the playoffs, but we also know that when she decides to turn it on the offensive end, it can. But her assists are down because nobody else is making shots. So it's just overall, it just seems like they're slushing through the mud and it's not coming together. Right now, they're sitting in 8th place.
Crazy.
They're barely making the playoffs. When you look at this roster, when we look in the history books and we see that this was a team, we're going to be so confused why they are not performing better.
I go back to free agency, and I just don't know. Like, I don't know what they were thinking during free agency. So you go and get Dana Evans, right? Who I'm thinking will be your backup point guard. But I don't understand how they're using her. You know what it looks like to me, and I'm sure this isn't the case, but it looks like so you lose. I'm gonna say you lose five pretty important pieces. Tyler Marsh is an assistant. Natalie as an assistant. Kelsey Plum, Alicia Clark, and Sid Colson. Granted, Sid played very sparingly. Like, Sid didn't play a whole lot. It just depended on the game, the situation, whatever. But I always said to people, having good vets on your team as role players who understand how to keep a locker room together, how to keep a bench together. That's what Sid Colson did for the Aces. I don't know who besides A'ja. I'm saying Sid because Sid wasn't like a main part of what they were going to do offensively, right? But Sid understood her role. When things started going crazy and not looking right, and like, who knows? We don't know what's going on in the locker room. But that's what Sid Colson did. Like, Sid was that one that she was going to keep everything together. Alicia Clark, another vet who came off the bench, gave them good minutes, but more so on the defensive end. Alicia was going to guard the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if she had to.
I know. And we're seeing that in Seattle. Yeah, she is just a plug and play player, and she shakes things up, especially coming off the bench. And
who is the Alicia Clark, right? Who's the Alicia Clark? The other player I'm gonna say Kelsey Plum. Like Kelsey is doing her thing in LA. When I look at Vegas right now, and you said it, we shouldn't be saying A'ja needs some help with scoring.
With scoring. I
You
thought
you
this would
have
be the least of their issues.
yeah, you have Jewel Lloyd, Chelsea Gray, Jackie
Oh.
Young, who are all Olympians, and you mean to tell me that they can't score more than 6 points? So I only bring up all of that to say, were these, including the assistants, right? Were these key pieces of the success that the Aces have had? Because I don't know who is coming in off the bench for that, even starting at this point.
At this point, yeah.
That's going to score the basketball.
Last thing I'll say is I'm looking at this box score, and I don't think I've really looked at it this closely from
Against
this Fever
Indiana?
game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is still against Indiana because I think this was just, I did not expect it to go this way. But in 30 minutes, Jewel only got 3 shots. She was 0 for 3. Jackie Young went 2 for 9. And Chelsea Gray went 1 for 3. Dana Evans went 1 for 10. So she coming in and she like, I don't care if y'all running
she putting that thing up
or not. She putting it up. I know she had a great
up.
game. The next game they bounced back, but it was against Connecticut. And I was like, I'm not gonna watch this game, but if I look back and I see the Aces lost this game or it's even close, I'm really done. But they handled their business there, and Dana Evans had a good game that game. But I'm like, how is Jewel only getting 3 shots in 30 minutes? You're doing cardio. You're doing cardio at that point. So it's also something that I think is like, is Becky having an issue trying to get everybody involved? Is it just merely not enough touches where you can't get in a flow of a game? Jewel has had a few good games this season, but 3 shot attempts, I mean, that ain't gonna get it done. She had 2 points, and that was off of free throws. So I don't know. I don't have the answers. If I did, I'd be a millionaire.
Jewel has had a few good games. Jewel Lloyd has not been the Seattle Storm Jewel Lloyd. And Jordan, it's really difficult going from being the one to now you don't really know you're not the one, right? That's A'ja. But are you the 2, the 3? Like what I see in Jewel when I watch her play is she looks confused.
Yeah.
Like if this was my squad, I know what's expected of me and I know what I would be doing. But it's not. So I'm still trying to figure out when do I take over? Right? Like when do I go for mine? When do I say, y'all, A'ja, let me rest your back a little bit. Let me carry the load for a minute. Like that's what I feel like Jewel is still trying to figure out. But I don't know. And the last thing I'll say on it is I like Nalissa, but like Nalissa and A'ja are the same position. I don't think you, even though you have to, but playing Nalissa and A'ja together, to me, I thought it was great if Nalissa was giving A'ja some rest, right? Because A'ja Wilson can't really come out of the game ever. No. So I still think they're missing they're missing a true 5 that can give them some points.
Yeah. That's how I feel. And I feel like they have actually been subbing Nalissa in for Kia Stokes, but then they're too small. And then that's when the Fever, Aaliyah Boston was just picking them apart. So it
Well, no,
was.
but Nalissa started the last game.
She did start the last game. Yeah, you're right.
So I don't know.
I think they're figuring it out. I think they honestly are like,
You better figure it out pretty quick, because you're gonna be out of the playoffs in a minute.
You gonna be out of the playoffs. A'ja Wilson should not be out of the playoffs while she is in her prime.
No,
do not
ever.
waste these prime
No.
A'ja Wilson years.
And because I need A'ja Wilson till the end of the season. I need to watch her play.
Oh my God.
Whew,
So
I know it's not
that's
pretty.
all we're gonna say.
It ain't pretty.
We bring it up often because we're still puzzled by it. And I think it just bothers us why this is not working out and how is this possible? And I think that's what I go. And I don't want to discredit, the Indiana Fever had a great game plan and they executed really well. And Kelsey Mitchell went off. And like, I love seeing Aaliyah and A'ja Wilson battle, but it was also just this glaring, like, what? Are you guys even out there? Like, hello? Like, that's what you can't constantly question. And Becky Hammond just looking on the sidelines so angry and upset. Like, there's nothing else I can do. So that's where it just becomes a bigger conversation point. But I did want to go on to another Fever game, but it was against the Sparks. And we haven't really talked about the Sparks a ton this season. But they looked so great in that. That was a great game. 2-point game.
That was a really good game.
Sparks won 89-87 over the Fever. And I feel like they are starting to put the pieces together a little bit. And I was excited to see that. I feel like De'Erica played well. Azarae played out of her mind. And KP was dishing off assists and scoring. Rakia with the game go-ahead bucket. Like, that was a full display of the Sparks. But I feel like overall, the Sparks have been a little up and down. Right now, they're sitting 6-13, I believe. What did you like about this game, particularly from that Sparks squad?
Well, I think if they can ever just string together some wins, one, I think it's going to do a lot for their confidence. I just loved how the entire game, the Sparks played at their pace. Right? It didn't really matter what Indiana was throwing at them, what Indiana was doing. They played at their pace. I'm going to go back to something I said when we were talking about All-Stars. Azarae Stevens should be an All-Star. She just should.
She's playing really well.
She's playing very well. I like this Sparks team. I do. I still feel like they're missing a couple of pieces. I'm not as much of a fan now since they let Odyssey Sims go, but anyway.
I have no idea what's going on with that.
I don't know. I
know.
But I do. I like, I think Rakia coming back from her, absence when she was away from the team, I think she's starting to get back in the groove of things. And I would have really loved to have seen her be an All-Star this year, because I thought to start the season, I thought Rakia was having an incredible season. And unfortunately, she had to miss some games. But yeah, I just, the fact that Indiana was coming off of a big win, and for the Sparks to go in and win on the Fever's home court, that was, to me, that was a really good win for the Sparks.
Really good win. And they got Julie Aleman back from Eurobasket, but then they also picked up Julie Van Loo. And I went off last episode about how the Golden State Valkyries handled this situation, because I just thought it was terrible. And since then, it has come out that, Natalie Nakase said they wanted to give her the respect and waive her face to face. People were throwing back at me saying, well, it was for visa issues, and Julie Van Loo came back and said, that's not the reason. I could have stayed in Belgium. Like, that had no reason to do it. So I love that even the game before this against New York, when the Sparks lost, Julie Von Loo was waiting outside of the arena. She had her luggage. She was ready to get to work immediately. And I'm just happy, and I hope that she finds some minutes and a home here with the Sparks, because we need all the backup guards and people and bodies that is possible. So that just made me really, really happy to see her out there and get a win. But even just what, Julie Aleman putting in 30 minutes on her return, I think she also brings a lot of great stuff and allows Kelsey Plum to be off the ball more and to be in that 2 position and more scoring guard. Ray Burrell is back healthy. So I think the Sparks team has surprised us kind of all year long. Like they dropped the game against the Sky, you drop a game against the Liberty, but then you come back and beat the Fever. And I think they could be in these games throughout the season. So I don't know if this is even the final iteration of the roster, but it feels pretty more solid than before, I guess I'll say.
So I don't know if I missed this somewhere. So maybe you can help me. So they waived Van Loo for who?
Well,
because she wasn't a hardship player. She was there from the beginning, right?
She was from the expansion draft, but it wasn't a guaranteed contract, which is that's what came out, that they were even able to waive her, which I think is a whole separate conversation for players, international players going to Eurobasket. If you're not on a guaranteed contract, that's risky, because even though I really do hate how the Valkyries handled the situation, the Valkyries were playing super well in those games while she was gone. And who was playing well? Leticia Mihir.
Yes.
Caitlin Chin. Like, those were the players that kind of were signed on in her absence. So you run that risk. That is a calculated risk. If you say, I'm going to leave the team, and maybe the people that are coming in, they're trying to steal your job. Like, they want a job too. So they're going to work hard and play hard. And that's kind of what happened. I just think it's the how.
Yeah,
how
no
that
doubt.
went down.
No doubt.
I'm more upset.
Yeah.
But Leticia Mihir has been balling out of control. She should have never left the team in the first place.
Ever.
That's kind of where they're like, we're not ready to waive her yet.
Yeah.
And
we messed up.
So, that was rough. And their fans are really letting them hear it, though. If you look at their posts and their comments, like, they're like, we will never forgive you for what you did to Julie. Like, they're really on it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. Well, the Sparks are happy they got her.
They are very happy. Lynn Roberts said that immediately. She said, once I saw that the Valkyries waived her, I told Reagan we need her. So I'm happy for her. I hope she can find a home there. But all right, let's take one more break. Then when we come back, it's time for flowers. Let's dish them out. Send some flowers. Take a break. All right, we're back. It's the Women's Hoop Show, and it's time for Sending Flowers, sponsored by Cash App. Making money moves should be easy, and that's why there's Cash App. It's fast, safe, and honestly, just way more personalized than the other apps out there. Okay, Sheryl, who are you sending your bouquet today?
Well, I need 2 bouquets. No, just one. Okay.
You can have as many as you want.
No, just one. This has zero to do with basketball.
Okay.
I am giving flowers to my son and his girlfriend because they had a baby a few days ago, and I am a nanny. So I'm so giving him all the flowers in the world, and he is so precious and lovable, and yeah. Because I could go on and on and on and on and on, and I'm not going to. But I am so in love. I'm so in love.
Nan Cheryl. Oh my gosh. That baby is so spoiled already. I already know. Oh, can't wait for your Nan era.
Yay.
That is so great. Oh, all the flowers.
Yay. Okay. Who are you giving your flowers to?
Yeah, Cheryl was like, let's hurry up and do this episode so I can go see my grandson.
Yeah, I need to go.
Like, let's wrap it up. I'm giving my flowers. I am going back to basketball. I'm going to give my flowers to Nneka Ogwumike because her being an all-star and what Seattle is doing. I mean, I think the Seattle Storm have been a little inconsistent, but Nneka has always been consistent. She has been constant her whole career. And to get her 10th All-Star selection, to get into the starting lineup, even when I don't feel like people talk about her enough. And I still go back to, what Skylar said, the post-game press conference where she tears up and she's saying how Nneka is the most disrespected MVP in our league's history. And I do believe that is true. So what she does as the president of the Players Association, and I know that is in full swing, and then to still come out and ball out of control for the Seattle Storm and push them towards the top of the standings has been worthy of applause and worthy of all of the flowers.
Yes.
So just want to give
That's
some
a good
flowers
one.
to Nneka. Thank you.
100%.
Thank you.
Yay.
That was Sending Flowers, sponsored by Cash App. As you heard me say at the top of the show, new Cash App users can use our code to get free money. Use our code Hoopers, send $5 to a friend within 14 days, and you'll get $10 right in your account. Thank you, Cash App. And thank you, Nan Cheryl, for hanging out with us and talking basketball and doing a really good job at your draft. But we'll see. We'll see how the real one shows out, okay?
I really want to see how close we were to picking.
I know. So I'll make a graphic of our teams so we can keep them close.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see. Thanks, Jordan.
Thank you. Always fun.
Always.
Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed today's episode, be sure to follow on your favorite podcast app so you never miss an update. Your support means the world. And if you're feeling generous, leaving a quick rating or review helps more Hoops fans discover the show. And you can now see us on our brand new YouTube channel. Make sure to like and subscribe there. Shoot us an email at women'shoops@odyssey.com to tell us what's on your mind. We want to hear your hottest takes, your burning questions, and all your feelings about all things women's hoops. We just might feature your note on the show. That's women'shoops@odyssey.com. The Women's Hoop Show is an Odyssey original podcast hosted by me, Jordan Robinson. Today, our co-host was Sheryl Swoopes. Our producer is Phil Switek. Our video team is led by Kurt Courtney and includes Tim Meikle, Evan Cox, Allison Jeffrey, and Lauren Vieira. Our executive producers are Greg Holtzman, Asha Saluja, Danny Freisinger, Maddie Sprunkeiser, and Leah Reese-Dennis. And special thanks to Moira Curran and Josephina Francis.